Welcome back. House Republicans are calling for former Congresswoman Liz Cheney to be investigated for her work on the January 6th Select Committee, which, of course, looked into Donald Trump and the attack on the Capitol on January 6th, 2021. Now, this could potentially lay the groundwork for Cheney to face criminal prosecution. In a statement, Cheney criticized the report, calling it a malicious and cowardly assault on the truth, adding that no reputable lawyer, legislator, or judge would take this seriously. Donald Trump weighed in, posting about the report on social media at 3:30 this morning, just a couple hours ago. He wrote this: Cheney could be in a lot of trouble, while Trump went on to thank Congressman Loudermilk for, quote, a job well done. Joining us now, MSNBC contributor Mike Barnicle. Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
We've always appreciated it. Let's talk about Liz Cheney here. And first, we'll get to Trump in a moment. But first, just this actions from her former colleagues, people who served with her day in, day out in the House of Representatives. There's been no allegation of an actual crime here, not that I can see, but yet they're banning about the possibility of criminal charges. What does that tell us?
It tells us that Washington is filled with people who make a lot of noise. I mean, who's going to charge her? The House Republican caucus? What court is she going to go to? This is nothing but politics, and people are sick of it.
So Trump chimed in a few hours later, suggested that he might very well support this. I would agree with you that there doesn't seem to be much in the way of legal standing for any of this, but it certainly seems to be part of his effort of retribution and intimidation.
You know, as everyone in America knows, and the world now knows, Jonathan, Donald Trump is a very interesting figure, a very underrated figure, because he has learned how to manipulate the media in this country like no one in our history. And he does it by being semi-outrageous to outrageous, by saying things that people can't believe when he says them, because they're lies, some of the things he says, and other oddities of his performances at press conferences or even on Truth Social. And so what happens to us when he does that? We pay more attention to him. That's what he wants.
Well, I think this is an important moment, though, because at 3:30 a.m. he posted twice. One of them was about Canada being the 51st state. That's obviously ridiculous. That's to try to just get some headlines. But the idea of the other one, the Liz Cheney arrest threat, that feels a little more real. I mean, he has been for a year now promising retribution. We know that he's trying to staff his administration with loyalists to carry that out. And lots of his people who support him, his base, are expecting and demanding this action. That feels like a dangerous concoction, no?
What's dangerous is that he was up at 3:30 in the morning tweeting. I mean, what is he doing? He's president-elect. He's got a job to do. He's got a job to think about. Get some rest.
Well, that's never, his sleeping patterns have always been a subject of fascination. But so you think that this is a moment where there's that old line about Trump, whether you should take him literally or seriously. Do you not take him seriously? You don't think he will?
No.
Okay.
No.
But some people clearly do think he might, and some of them work in the West Wing, where there's been a series of robust conversations in recent weeks about whether or not to issue preemptive pardons to people that Trump has identified as a political foe, whether that is Liz Cheney or Mark Milley, potentially even former people, John Brennan, maybe members of the media. What's the latest you've heard about those discussions, and do you think they're a good idea?
I think several people who have been named as potential recipients of a pardon have indicated to the White House, no, they don't want a pardon. They will not accept a pardon. There are people who maybe ought to get a pardon, like Cassidy Hutchinson, is that her name?
Yes. Used to work for Mark Meadows.
Yeah, maybe she should get a pardon, because there are several people on that list of potential targets who certainly could not afford the $500,000 in legal fees to pay for a defense if they go after her.
And last quick question. You obviously have covered President Biden for a long time. He is certainly at his heart an institutionalist. A wave of preemptive pardons would certainly be a break from a norm. Do you think something he would seriously consider?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
We will find out in the.
I expected this is your last week on Way Too Early.
Yes.
That you and I would do, flashbacks of my prior appearances, but I guess not. Huh?
Yeah, they're still working on the montage, the clips, but hopefully
There's some good stuff there.
we can run that later, or perhaps in January after Ali takes over and the show's in good hands. It'll look back at some of our fondest moments. Mike, we have always appreciated it. We'll see you in a few minutes on Morning Joe.